From Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, November 15th, 2021. Temperatures very close to the freezing mark as you go across much of Alberta and Saskatchewan. A little bit cooler, -5 as you make your way toward the Winnipeg area. And then as you go across southern portions of Alberta, far southwest Saskatchewan, we're a few degrees above the freezing mark here on Monday morning. Take a look at the satellite picture here. Very strong jet stream flow. We've been hearing a lot about the atmospheric river here, just soaking portions of British Columbia and the Pacific Northwest with a ton of moisture. We're seeing some areas here pushing 200 millimeters of precipitation just from this precip event alone. Now, the actual area of low pressure here is going to eventually eject across the prairie. It's going to lay a corridor of snow generally along and north of Highway 16, but we'll see some lighter snow, I should say a heavy accumulating snow, winter storm level along and north of Highway 16, but lesser snow chances as you make your way off to the south. I suppose I could move off the satellite picture here and actually progress through the forecast and convey all this information. This is what we have on Monday morning now. Seeing some precipitation here, generally along Highway 1 early this morning. We're seeing some light snow, some light rain as you get closer to the U.S. border. As I put this into motion, we'll see the storm is going to take much of the early half of the week to make its way across the Prairie provinces. So we'll head through the rest of the day today with the North American model here, the NAM. Take it into Tuesday morning. The area of low pressure now starting to move out of Alberta and then into Saskatchewan. Heavy snow along the north side of this system. So again, heaviest snow, 15 to 30 centimeters of snow here along and north of Highway 16 as we head through the first part of the week. So this is the day on Tuesday. As we get into Wednesday, the snow is now pushing off across eastern portions of Saskatchewan into Manitoba. And then as we get into Thursday, things begin to quiet down, at least temporarily. I think we will see a several-day lull here as we go through the end of the week into the weekend. And then early next week. But overall, I think this active pattern here in a relatively active U.S.-Canadian border storm track is going to linger into week 2 once we get beyond this several-day lull. So total accumulated precipitation Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can see much of this falling in the form of snow. Again, much of it in this corridor right through the middle of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, with lesser accumulation totals as you head south of Highway 16, more minor, anywhere from nothing or a trace up to maybe 10 to 15 centimeters of snow south of Highway 16. A chance for some rain and some freezing rain to mix in there, kind of between Highway 16 and Highway 1 as well as we head through the week. So total snowfall forecast, NAM on the left, European on the right. Good agreement here between the two models, both with the placement and the totals here. We're talking again about 10 to 20, maybe upwards of 30 centimeters of snow, generally along and north of Highway 16, right through the center of the provinces here, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. And then, of course, the storm continues off to the east as we head through the last half of the week. Along and south of Highway 16, again, we will see some snow here and potentially some accumulating snow, but we're talking more like a trace up to 10 centimeters of snowfall here over the next several days south of Highway 16. Total liquid precipitation, this is over the next 10 days. Much of this going to be focused, again, right through the heart of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. So Peace River, Edmonton, Saskatoon, you got the chance here to pick up anywhere from 20 to 30 millimeters of precipitation between now and the next 10 days. And then you head south of that, we're talking about lesser totals, again, scattered accumulating snowfall totals between a trace and 10 centimeters, and then total liquid precipitation here between a trace and maybe 15 millimeters here. And again, that's going to be Edmonton, Calgary, Saskatoon, the higher totals. You make your way south of there. Calgary, you're on the fence there. You're maybe between 15 to 20 millimeters of total precip here, maybe some higher snowfall totals. But then when we talk about places like, Brandon off toward Regina, over toward Grand Prairie, so we're likely talking about lesser precipitation totals. Now, as we head into days 5 to 10, right now things want to have this precipitation corridor continuing to be north of Highway 16. Lesser confidence in days 5 to 10 because, again, the pattern's going to stay active, I think, during that time frame. And right now, lower confidence in where the heaviest precipitation is going to end up. But so we get started here. Here is the pattern. Very active. We've got this trough off the west coast here, very strong flow coming in from the Pacific. That's what's responsible for the soaking precipitation event across the Pacific Northwest in British Columbia. Additionally, seeing a disturbance across the northeast U.S. that's tugging some colder air in that direction as we head through the mid part of the week as well. So we'll put this into motion. We'll take the arrows off of here first. As we head through the next 3 to 4 days, this trough moves in, makes its way across Alberta into Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and then off across really the Hudson Bay, the Great Lakes as we get into the end of the week. Now we'll keep the flow active. We do see a ridge try to nudge in here as we get into the weekend. That's what I think gives us that several day lull. But as we get into next week, we're going to continue to see disturbances kind of coming over that ridge, flattening it out. The ridge doesn't stay. We don't see the ridge establish itself here over the weekend into early next week. Instead, it just continues to move on. The pattern remains progressive, and we will see disturbances coming in, kind of taking the same path here from the Prairie, and then diving in across the Great Lakes as we head into next week. So here's what we got. The big story is really the first system that makes its way through the next 3 days, because we're quiet after that. So this is the big weather maker this week. High winds, accumulating snow. It's a winter storm. We're in that time of year. It is what it is. So here we go through Monday. Getting into Tuesday now, the area of low pressure moving across the middle of Saskatchewan here on Tuesday morning. It makes its way down toward the Winnipeg area just north of there by Wednesday morning. So this is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday winter storm event. Strong winds coming around the back side of this thing, gusting up to 100 kilometers per hour. So windy conditions, snowy conditions, the heaviest snowfall accumulating north of Highway 16. Here's your probability of more than 6 inches of snow between now and Saturday. European on the left, GFS ensemble on the right. Good agreement there. You see the void as you head south there, but if we take this down to the probability of picking up an inch or more over the next 5.5 days all the way through Saturday, we bring that probability all the way down to the U.S. border. So just about everyone with probably going to see some snow, just about everyone with the chance of at least a trace to maybe 10 centimeters of snow. You head further north toward Highway 16, along that corridor and to the north, that's where the totals approach 10 to 30 centimeters of snow and that high wind combining to create some treacherous conditions. So this is a big deal in Peace River, in Edmonton, over towards Saskatoon, and then, still impactful as you head south from there with snow and high winds over the next couple of days. Cooler temperatures coming in over the next 5 to 10 days. This is the European model forecast, but if I show you what the GFS is showing here in days 5 to 10, I actually think this is maybe a little more likely here to see a stronger than average or a stronger than advertised shot of cold air here following this storm system, following the accumulating snow here during the middle part of the week. So as we look at the next 10 days here, highs anywhere from -1 to a couple of degrees above freezing in Calgary. We'll be spending the next 10 days, below freezing in Edmonton. No surprise there. Significant accumulating snow expected there over the next 48 hours. Saskatoon, you're going to be cooling off quite a bit. More than cooling off. We'll be seeing those temperatures below freezing there as well. Regina, same story. On the backside of this storm system, we're just going to be feeling the cold there. And then in Winnipeg, potential for an even more significant shot of colder air as we head into next week. That's that time frame I'm concerned about or watching for maybe a stronger than advertised shot of cold air making its way in as we head into next week. So there you got it. Snow along and north of Highway 16, heavy 10 to 30 centimeters as we head through the next few days. Lesser amounts as you head south from there. A lull as we head into late week and the weekend. The active pattern resumes heading into next week.